Alright, time to start
Whenever I interacted
part
with
B,
Kainé,
and we start with learning
was
Kainé's
reminded about
backstory
something from
in
my
a sort of a
past.
flashback sequence that she's having while she's getting
Maybe
depetrified.
my mind has been
Here's the
confusing her
problem,
with my
and I'm
sister
gonna have
this
to
whole
ask you a
time.
lot of patience for this.
Here we go.
This is a thing that Square-Enix was asking Taro for a cease and desist. Essentially, they were telling that if he couldn't manage to fit in the game before the release launch, he would have had to made it as a novel, because 2010 Square, obviously. So what he did, it's all in text.
Oh my god.
Get
Well,
ready, folks, because this part and the next two are all of TV's text.
without any visuals?
Well, okay,
I
this
know.
is annoying, but to be fair, from what you just said, it seems
It
like
was
you
either
didn't
this
have
or a
choice.
novel, so
Yeah.
I understand if this makes you annoyed.
Much
a
as it
lot.
may annoy me, I will say that
I'm actually more grateful because we more than likely would have never gotten the novel because of how expensive it is to translate those things.
And I'll definitely say that Taro is not to blame for this one.
It was 2010 Square-Enix.
Anyway, the point is, this story starts way back in the area with a single child. The wanderer reached the vein, which had existed for as long as any could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with pale white skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. This is one of your hints, but I'll say it later. It's you, Pedro.
The beak turns east.
Because it's Kainé.
I go home. If it stays west, then
Excuse me, Yoko, I forgot my line. What was it again?
The
child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair.
Isn't this young Kainé?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Like
the italic ones are the lines.
Come on, come on.
So come on.
The child felt a slight breeze.
I have to try to mimic young chariot the best I can.
As the veins slowly creaked to life, spinning this way and that for a moment, it finally settled with the beak pointing firmly towards the east.
East? Really?
Apparently.
Yeah,
Are you fucking serious?
Before the vein could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, finally striking home against the child's head. The force of a blow dropped the child to the ground as a hail of stones began to fall all around. So it's not even the first time she gets struck by blunt objects.
Oh no, they found me.
Tapu Bulu is doing his madness
A heartbreaking
again.
smile crept across the child's face as the stone continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. You? I think it's the Yoo-hoo, Kainé. The voice belonged to Demo, worst of all the bullies in the area.
Oh, so she was bullied.
As Kainé struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blue blood oozed from a cut above the eye and blurred her vision, but she couldn't make out the shapes of Daimon as his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback from a moment by Kainé's seeming indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Or did you finally decide to run away from home?
Charming.
Trust me, the reason why she's getting bullied is even more tragic. Though she knew it was futile, Kainé turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. This is turning to Stephen King really quickly. Kainé knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentor's parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to this sensation. It was one she had experienced before. While some villagers set eye to the actions of their children, many encourage it openly, because asshole town.
Figures.
In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kainé was something to be made possible, destroyed. I didn't say you could leave, freak. Daimo's words chewed at her like a worm through an apple.
Can't hurt.
Pedro,
God.
she lied to
He
herself.
He's strong. Be brave. Can't hurt me. He can't hurt me.
Oh
it turns out
look, the
again.
little... Oh look, the little freak is gonna cry. What's wrong? Are you sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead? Kainé prepared for the rain to flood down and
Pray for
carry
the
her
rain.
away from a world that seemed to have no place for her.
People suck.
But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Daimo crept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed.
This basically sounds like exactly what David Cage is trying to do with child Jody.
Pedro?
Oh, sorry. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless. A failure. I wish Deimos Rock had taken my head off.
Jesus.
I'm not as good as detecting different fonts.
Yeah, sorry. Kainé couldn't meet Daimo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed Kainé's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. You're a freak.
No, I'm not.
Did you just say no?
You'll speak when you're spoken to, bitch.
Demo grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Not even taking his attention from Kainé, he called to his cohorts. Come on, guys, let's give the freak what she deserves.
Because we don't have any empathy of any kind.
Again, Stephen King ruled
got
it. As soon as Daimo finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kainé. Daimo paused, still grinning, as Kainé curved into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are. Kainé ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weather vane. It continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her.
Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to.
Freak! Chanted the children. Freak, freak, freak.
You know what this reminds me of, Shiro?
Mhm.
Reminds me of that clip from season 1 of Family Guy, where Peter's laughing. Bob misses his mommy. Bob misses his mommy, and
Oh,
then Bob is like on the grave of his mommy's grave.
Yeah, he's crying at the gravestone.
That's basically this. That's basically this.
The rain fell, but the pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she dare open a single bloody-caked eye. Kainé was shocked to see Daimo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from the spaces between his fat, twisted fingers.
Karma? I think?
Oh my god, he's crying. Actually crying.
He has a soul in there.
Nah.
Somewhere. The pride of her... It's more instincts. The pride of her leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves, as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge.
Sorry, Jova, the term is crocodile's ears. Sorry,
Tears, yeah.
Crocodile's tears.
When all
Crocodile's
children
ears.
emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kainé, but the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke. You might as well you be impaired, it's an old lady anyway.
It's like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw another one.
Oh shit, Granny's packing heat.
And if any of you little bastards ever touch my Kainé again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock.
The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand Daimon was using to cover the wound. Even the theme music pumps up. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted back and forth.
Oh! Ow.
Ow! He screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop it! What are you doing?
Oh yeah, pain isn't so good when it's on you, or is it, asshole? Quit whining it. No one ever died from a scratch.
You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch. A big one. Hit it with a rock. That thing could have killed me. The old woman shrugged.
Death is the best cure for stupid. Damn straight.
I like this character. Where's this
Twisted with rage at their words. Locking his eyes on Kainé, he took a step backward and spat on the ground. Get out! Leave this village. No one wants you here, either of you. Well, remember, Shiro, it's Kainé's grandma, so... Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Daimon and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her inside and barked out a single laugh.
Look at that fat boy go. Yes, he's healthy enough to run from a fight. Child obesity is funny.
The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kainé. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders, then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting at the blood on her forehead.
Oh, Kainé.
Sorry, my apologies. The words of her grandmother stung Kainé, and she turned away.
Don't be nice to me,
she said.
I don't deserve it. Nothing matters.
Oh. That's also why Kainé is so antisocial, because she's been bullied to death when she was a kid. Her tears, held in check for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below.
Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead.
As Kainé's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hand on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kainé found herself unable to turn away.
Don't talk like that, Kainé. The river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next. And it grants no mercy to any that attempt to cross it. You got a duty to fight until your last breath.
So it's kind of like the live stream.
Understand?
The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice.
You know the pain of losing someone close to you. You know, because you survived it.
As the words hit home, Kainé was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kainé called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and their first few years together had not been easy. So you can guess where she got the attitude from. But with each year that passed, Kainé and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud with tears and blood caking her face, that Kainé truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things, and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kainé's pain and loneliness, it was her.
I make you sick? Of course not. Don't be an ass.
Kainé drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered.
But my body.
Well, at least we know where Kanye gets her colorful language from.
Yep.
Of course.
It's not normal. If I was normal, then mom and dad.
So have you guessed yet what Kainé thinks is wrong with her body?
Let me guess. She thinks
Well,
that she accidentally killed her parents.
You've been given no. She thinks she also did.
Isn't she like? Did something happen to her that made her a hermaphrodite or something?
You're closed with. She is actually hermaphrodite, but that's because her replicant was actually built with a defect.
So,
Essentially, it was kind of an accident, but people treat her like a freak with that.
Interesting.
That's also why she has also a kind of like a masculine attitude sometimes. Anyway, she also has a connection with the lunar tears because her grandma actually gave it to her in this moment.
So
Lunar
she's not
tears.
trans, she's a hermaphrodite.
Essentially, yeah. Lunar tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without them. Kainé reached up and touched the reef as if she couldn't believe it was real.
When did you find these?
In case you don't remember, she also has this exact crown that she's having right now of lunar tears in her hideout near the area.
Oh, you know, just stumbled on them one day when I was doing the shopping.
The old woman turned away as she was explaining, leading Kainé to suspect that the search had been much more difficult than she was letting on.
So why does she think that being a hermaphrodite killed her parents?
No, she doesn't think that. It's the fact that she thinks she is a disgrace to her parents. The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers in this construction, made Kainé's heart hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the reef, admiring the way it felt between her fingers.
Didn't quite turn out alright.
Said her grandmother as she squinted at it.
So the being she was built with was male, or...?
I forgot
The
all the
replicant
details.
was a defect.
Yeah, essentially. It was probably another essentially weird consequence of the Gestalt project not being optimized.
Okay.
Kainé blushed and turned away.
You think I'm pretty? Of course you are. What a fool thing. Hey. Thank you, Grandma.
Her grandmother smiled.
We're gonna be fine, you and me.
She said.
As long as we got each other, we'll be just fine. I'm sure.
About that.
Yeah.
Kainé took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to get to their feet. As they began the long walk home, Kainé gripped the hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the wind. The rain had stopped. Kainé stood beneath the weather vane, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped.
I don't need to escape. I have a home now. I'm sure nothing bad will happen to me for now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough. Even if it's us, just us against the...
Kainé let her gaze drift up past the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last faint hints of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on the breeze. In the next part, we'll continue Kainé's backstory.
Well, considering
Nice.
this is some of the most brilliant writing I've ever seen in a video game, sure, bring in more. Anyway, go ahead. See you, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.